Dr. Baker.
February 2017. Bailey, wishing you good health, playful rhetorical rhythms, and wonder-filled adventure. Happy birthday, Janet. I love the phrase, playful rhetorical rhythms. We talked about that. For those of you who do not know, Bill intimated this a few moments ago, we lost Janet earlier this year, actually on the 28th of February. She died at JFK Hospital in Edison. To give you a little bit of her academic background, she earned a bachelor's degree in comparative literature at Indiana University and a master's degree also from Indiana University in applied linguistics. Now notice, Indiana University. I want you to keep that on your bones for a while. Indiana University. She also earned a PhD from Temple University in rhetoric and communication. Now I read somewhere, and I was also aware from conversations with her, that she, and this is a quotation, lived, traveled, or taught all around the world. Now that phrase, all around the world, is a bit of a stretch, although she did teach and work in Egypt, Tunisia, the Sudan, and Ethiopia, and also did research with the Chiapas women in Mexico. Now, Janet had an intense interest in culture and cultures. She was concerned with discourse in culture. She was concerned with cultural influences, cultural differences, conflict between and among cultures, and how differences can be checked in order to minimize conflict. Now, curiously, Dr. Yedes saw humor as a communication strategy for reducing cross-cultural tensions. And again, a quotation from her. There are ways in which humor can acknowledge differences and different points of view, but still rationally show that we're okay with each other. And she taught a class early on in humor. So Dr. Yedes had an intense interest in culture. As a matter of fact, she appreciated teaching and working here at Kean University for its range of cultural flavors. Now, I can hear something. What's it saying to me is, come on, Baker, you only have about 3 more minutes. Talk about the good stuff. All right. So here is just a little bit of the good stuff. When I met Janet and we chatted, I came to understand that we had a Berkeley connection. Berkeley, California. So we could talk about Shattuck. We could talk about Ashby Avenue and several other venues in Berkeley. So we had a real feel for her, because I remember when she came, I liked the hippie, and that was Janet. And again, we got to talk about that Berkeley connection. So I decided that we would be honorary H. Boom Tomanachis. Now, you're wondering, what is an H. Boom Tomanachi? Do a little research. That's a research project. All right. To know Janet was also know that she was connected with her family especially her mother, whom she affectionately referred to as Mama Bear. Now, let me share a couple of stories with you. It was a summer, I think of 2000. I was in California. I spent the summer in Berkeley. So about halfway during that vacation, it was a working vacation, I decided to call Janet. I knew she was in Indiana. So I called, and a woman answered the phone. I introduced myself. She introduced herself. It was Mama Bear. We chatted cordially for a moment or two. I asked to speak to Janet, and she said that Janet was not home. So I said, would you give her a message? She said, yes. I said to her, call Janet, tell Janet when she comes home that Berkeley connection, Berkeley is so wonderful. I've connected with a good intellectual group here, and I'm going to stay in Berkeley. I'm not going back to Kean. And Mama Bear said, you can't do that. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, Janet expects you back in New Jersey. Yes, ma'am. Are you going back? Yes, ma'am. I'm going back. She startled me. All right. I know why she calls her Mama Bear, because she takes care of her cubs. Now, 2004 or so, I'm sitting in my office, and this woman comes in with a trench coat on. I look up from my desk, and she flashes me. Come on. She had on a Hoosier, an Indiana University sweatshirt. The reason she was flashing me with Indiana University, and I told you to be mindful of that earlier, is that I'm a Purdue person, and there's that rivalry in the state, Purdue, Indiana. So that was my first meeting with Mama Bear. So I met her on two occasions, one on the phone, scared me a bit, and in my office as she flashed. And what a nice lady. What a gentle lady. What an interesting woman. I invited her to come to class with me, and she did come to class 1 or 2 times. So really enjoyed it. Good people. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your metaphysics, Mama Bear died a couple of months before Janet. Now, in thinking about Janet, I'm trying to think of something as I was preparing these remarks, a common thread that went through her. And what I came up with was, in talking with her, she seemed to see everything as connected. Everything is related. Everything is related to everything else. It was that kind of continuity in the world that I thought that represented her. So, in looking at that, I remembered a quotation from Michael Lerner in his book, Spirit Matters, and this is his take on spirit. He says, I am one part of the consciousness of the universe, the manifestation of the unity of all being, the unity of all being. And to me, that represented our colleague to the T. So again, on the 28th of February, 2019, Janet Yedes died. Such is life.
Thank you very much, Dr. Baker.